Hello. This video introduces the syllabus for Discovering America 3 for the spring of 2021. We're going to try and save a little bit of class time and maximize our results when we are together by allowing you to look at this video when you have free time. All right, so I'm teaching two sections of this course this semester. The syllabi are identical with the exception of this information here, the CRN, the start times, and the room number. Both courses are hybrid, meaning that half the class will be with me in class, the other half will be remote using Zoom. I will send a Zoom link. That link will be the same for the entire semester. Because I'm teaching two sections, it would be very helpful to me if you send me an email to just remind me that I am in your 210 class or in your 335 class. So that AB schedule, if your last name begins with A through J, you will be in class on Mondays. And if it's K through Z that your last name starts with, you will be in class on Wednesdays. A through J in class on Mondays, K through Z in class on Wednesdays. Okay, office hours will be the same for both classes. It is this link here, and again, that will be a permanent link. It's different from the class link, but it'll be a permanent link for the entire semester. My office hours will be Mondays and Wednesdays from 1 to 2 p.m. or by appointment. I am pretty flexible in terms of creating appointments for you all, so please contact me if you need any help. No excuses if you need help and not getting time in office hours. I'm going to let you read the mission and the course description and the student learning outcomes for yourself. The only thing that I will emphasize here is that this is an American culture course, essentially. The way that I go through it, it's not explicitly political, although we will spend a lot of time talking about the politics. It won't have military history in any meaningful way. So when we discuss the Vietnam War, we won't be talking about the prosecution of the Vietnam War. We're talking about its impact on American culture. Okay, office hours. Do not wait until it's too late to have an impact. Contact me as soon as you have questions. If you have any kind of modification that the university has identified, or if you have a modification that you think is important to you even though it hasn't gone through official school channels, please make sure that I have that. I have a couple of them already, but it would be helpful to make sure that you confirm with me that you have a modification and that I'm aware of it. That way we won't have any problems later on. Course grading, I think, is a place where we need to spend a little bit of time because I do grading a little bit differently than most of your courses. The breakdown, I'm really going to emphasize participation. The reading analysis and the papers are really important in terms of how we do these quizzes and exams. Those are really to sort of check on the content. But as I said in the intro, my intro to you, this course is really a lot less about content and your ability to analyze the content. So just keep that in mind. So the grading system is on a point system. So the objective is to get to an A, which is 940 points, right? Think about a grade scale multiplied by 10. So a perfect score is 1,000, not 100. A failing grade is below 600, not below 60. Right? And the objective here is to get the number of points that you need to reach the place that you want. So if you are dedicated to getting a B, you need to get 840 points. The class participation will provide 120 points. This discussion board, which is really an extension of class participation, is another 120 points. Class presentations will be 150 points. Reading analyses, 180. Papers, 210. Term quizzes and exams will be 220 combined. So you'll have at least 1,000 points available to you so that you can accumulate the points that you need to achieve the grade that you want. I believe this system does a few things that are superior to sort of take the average. One is it really allows for mastery of the subject. It allows for improvement. It doesn't hamper you early on if the results are not what you want. It allows me to grade based on progress, not just finite performance. So there are a lot of reasons that I like this. There will be a couple of required things so that even if you have 940 points, you'll need to make sure that you have 940 points and enough of the assignments that were assigned. I will tell you that there were multiple people that went into the final week of the semester already having accumulated 940 points in every semester that I've ever used this system. And frankly, there's very little excuse for not getting something more than a C. A C is really, really easy to get. You need to put in some meaningful effort to get B's and A's, but nobody who turned everything in any semester that I've taught at the University of Hartford has gotten something less than a C. So the only reason you should get something less than a C is if you don't turn stuff in, right? Okay. Academic integrity goes without saying. Again, I'm concerned about not the content so much as the analysis of the content. So there's very little reason to try to plagiarize. So just don't. Required text. We're not going to use a textbook per se. I'm going to ask you to get 3 books that you'll do reports on throughout the semester. The Other America, Silent Spring, and Dispatches. These are important books throughout the time period that we're studying, and then reading assignments on a weekly basis will be distributed through Blackboard. There'll be assignments that I've called together and put there. Really important when it comes to reading. Every once in a while, I'll get a comment that says, "This is a UIS course. Why is there so much reading?" Well, it goes back to those employer skills and competencies that we're really trying to develop. You cannot analyze material effectively if you don't do research, and that's in any field. So that's why. But I really encourage everybody to check out the How to Read a Book video that I've posted. That will help you to understand that what we're not talking about is memorizing the readings for each week, but reading them and reading them strategically. So check out that video, How to Read a Book, that I produced here, and it's listed in Blackboard under the introductory material. Again, I mentioned participation is really important to this class. So each class you'll have an opportunity to earn up to 8 participation points. The 8 points come not just from saying stuff, but from applying the material that you've read, drawing in information from other sources that might come from outside the class, etc. Really important, if you're online, you should have your video and your microphone on. Microphone should be muted when you're not speaking, but your video should be on the entire class. Particularly in a hybrid situation, it's really important that I see you online. So if for any reason you have a problem with your video function, you need to reach out to me and tell me what this problem is so that we can make arrangements so that you can qualify for the participation grade. And if you don't have your video on and you don't reach out to me, you don't get credit for participating. So there's that. Discussion board is an extension of the class discussion, class participation. We're going to take up topics from each class and continue that conversation online. You have a required minimum number of posts, original posts, and in particular, I'm going to be looking for responses to posts. So it's a discussion board, not a post board, right? So think about what your classmates are saying, respond to it, add texture, add information, add your perspective to information that you're seeing from your classmates. Journal. There's actually two aspects of the journal. There's two journals that I'm going to ask of you. The first is a weekly journal that is really just a touch base for us. I want you to. It's just 2-3 sentences is fine. And what I want to know is what you're getting out of class, if there's anything that's challenging, if there's something that you don't understand, if you're having challenges in class or challenges out of class that are affecting how you're progressing in class. Those kinds of things are things. That's where you pop that in, and I can be aware of where you are. This is particularly important when we have limited time in class. You're only gonna be in the classroom, and you can't sort of hang out and talk afterwards, things like that, as easily. So this one entry a week is really kind of important for me to manage the class well and to make sure you're getting what you need out of it. The second thing that's going to be in the journal is a little bit more involved, and that's the reading analyses. The reading analyses are due each week based on the readings assigned. They are not particular. They don't need to be particularly long. We're talking 3 to 5 paragraphs, and they are to examine the arguments, the evidence, the information that you processed. You can use classroom discussions. You can use independent reading. You can use suggested readings that are in the assignments. An excellent analysis is going to include an examination of questions raised and answered by the text or left unanswered. Right? And these things should be to me each Friday by midnight. Terms. I use the term to refer to names, dates, events, important occurrences that happened throughout, as well as terms of analysis or ideas that are relevant to the period. These are content. I will be doing term quizzes throughout the semester, and the terms will be a big part of the final exam, but they're not. They're not the critical component of the class in my view. These are the sort of the building blocks. You can't analyze stuff unless you have a sense of what's happened, what's not said, etc. So term quizzes will happen. All quizzes and exams will happen on Blackboard online. We won't do anything in class relative to that. The assignments are all in Blackboard, and so are rubrics for the major assignments. Okay, the course outline. This is just to give you a sense of the broad topics that we'll be covering throughout the semester, and to give you a sense of when the assignments are going to be due. So there's 3 books. You'll see those 3 books are in there with a reading analysis for each of those books, and then we have a midterm. There's some general suggested reading. I would certainly recommend that you pick one of them up. It will help you in terms of class participation, etc. And I think they're good and informative reads on their own. So, all right, that's a syllabus. As always, if you need something from me, you have questions, concerns, need more information or help, Hayden at hartford.edu.